welcome back to another episode of God Built This Podcast. I'm your host, Maxine, and we're on episode 100. What? 100? 100? Shout out to me. No, but seriously, this is awesome. Thank you to all of the listeners, all of the people who listen, who comment, who reach out to me with their comments, with their reactions. It's such a blessing to reach anyone, I'm not gonna give a speech, but it's just so funny because I remember starting off with my podcast, and the first couple of episodes I would get like a solid 12 listens, and then it developed into 23, and I'm like, okay, who are these 12 motherfuckers, 23 motherfuckers listening? Hello, I got some fans. But gradually the listening grew more and more. And no, I'm not at the Joe Rogan level yet. I'm gonna speak that into existence. But it's just been an honor to just be able to speak, to feel how I feel, to share how I share, and for it to resonate with anybody. So whether the number is 23 listens or 500 listens, I am so grateful for every listen. And here we are, 100 episodes deep. Shout out to Joanna, rest in peace. She has always has been a supporter of my podcast and has always listened, and I just hope that she's doing well in heaven. Okay, so let's get into the elephant in the room. I see that the winner of the election is Joseph Biden, Kamala Harris, and that is that. Here's the thing. I think I would be remiss to not recognize the positive impact in having Kamala Harris as our vice president and having Joe Biden as the new sitting president for the next 4 years, and we'll see what else holds for us. But I will be remiss to not recognize the positive impact because of how much of a social turmoil we've been experiencing as a country. And internationally, the embarrassment of America has been towards other countries since Trump's been in office. So I would be remiss to not recognize the positive impact. It is very positive. It is very outstanding to see and witness not just a woman who is our VP, but a Black woman, a woman who is a graduate of a HBCU, a woman who is also Southeast Asian, and a Muslim. Well, at least her family background is Muslim, and there's a lot of a lot of boxes that she checks just by being herself, and it's very powerful. And representation matters. We talk a lot about how, Black Lives Matters and all these things, and representation matters as well, just in general. It speaks volumes when we see someone who reflects us, someone who reflects a friend of ours or our child, and our child could be positively impacted and influenced and just motivated to be a better version of themselves because now they see someone who looked like them up in such an honorable position. So I would be remiss to not recognize the amazingness of it all. I think, though, it is a celebratory moment. I think it's kind of hard to figure out when do we kind of, pop that bubble. There's a lot of people on social media so quick to give this savior type of adoration towards the new president-elect and the VP-elect, and it's what's the word? I just think it's kind of strange, we're Trump has been that bad that we're looking at anybody as just a saving grace. And that's very telling to how Trump has been. It's very telling. It just also is telling of how Democrats, how they are so quick to fall in love with the candidate rather than fall in line or think or feel objectively. They would rather vote for someone who looks like them, for someone who reflects their family. And maybe that's not all the way a bad thing, but I also just feel like, it just sucks that we just live. There's a lot of issues with the system that we are living in. There's a lot of problems. There's a lot of flaws, and it's not suddenly over now that Joe Biden is the new president-elect. Saturday was the day when the news finally hit after we were all left on red. It's like, how many times I have to go through this with niggas in general? And I got to go through this with America, waiting to get a text back. Who's going to be our president? It was day 2 when I tweeted and I said, I don't even care anymore. Like, at this point, just tell us so we can move on. Like, just rip the Band-Aid off and let us go. That's how much of a drag this whole process was. And prior to this election happening, the drag also was a thing when we were counting down the days for the election. Okay, I watched The View, and every episode since the 50th day prior to election day, they were counting down. It is now 37 days until the election, 49 days until can we just start from day 10? And there's just a lot of, the media has a way of, scaring you, making you feel like the world is ending since Trump been in office. Don't get me wrong. Since he's been in office, there's been a lot of scare tactics overall that's been happening since he's been in office. Started with this push to deport undocumented people here in America, and that hits home for me, being a child of immigrants and knowing many of my peers, my family members, and friends who are children of immigrants as well, and who may not have their documents in order. So that is a scary experience to go through. I just also feel like we can't deny the role that the media plays when it comes down to how to scare us. Like, you really have to be intentional in the amount of news that you intake, or you'll just be living in a scary ass bubble. So I don't know. So yeah, Saturday came, and I was at a yoga event outside. As soon as I got to my phone after the yoga, before we get to the election, can we talk about this yoga event that I went to? So the one previous to the one that I'm about to talk about was pretty good. Okay. Very meditative, thoughtful, intentional moves. And I think the weather was nice that day too. It wasn't too hot. It was nice. It was nice. This yoga event that I went to last Saturday, I don't know if she just ran out of ideas or why we were walking in circles for a good 12 minutes. And she's talking about, oh, well, they say walking is the best exercise and we have to learn how to walk in different ways. And she was teaching us how to walk in these sauntering spider-like movements while our arms were outstretched. One arm is towards our right, the other arm is towards the left, and we're walking in these slow motions, and then we're doing it again in the opposite direction, and then repeating it, and then it was just 12 minutes of that. And I'm just stopping after every walk around, standing there like, bitch, are we done? Is this it? Is this how you're ending this class? Like, what the fuck is this? What is this? We're literally walking in circles. Literally walking in circles. And I'm just standing there like, this is not fun. And the sun was beaming on my skin. And I was still walking in circles, looking like a damn fool. Anyway, I just did not really enjoy that yoga session. I felt like she could have did a better job. I feel like she ran out of ideas and went with the whole okey doke of walking being the best fucking exercise. No, bitch, let's do some burpees or something. I know it's yoga, but like, this is ridiculous. Stop. Anyway, so after the whole walking around in circles for 12 minutes, I went to my phone. I checked on Instagram. And of course, 10,000 of y'all reposting Biden, Kamala. And it seems like it's like the final here post. Like, oh my goodness, we did it. We did it. We voted. We did it. The votes are in. We did it. We did it. And I'm just like, okay, let me make sure it's confirmation. So I go on Fox News. Sorry, I'm kidding. But I haven't checked Fox News because you know what? Like I said about the media is very programmed into their own bias approach when it comes to different topics in the news. So whether it's politics or whatever, it's very biased. So if you're only watching CNN, you're only getting the Democratic point of view, and you're only and always viewing the Republican Party as this evil, demonic party. As for Fox News, it's the same thing in reverse. So I got a little even feel of both. I want to see a little Andrew Cuomo, and I want to see a little Tucker Carlson. You know, I want to see a little what's that black guy? What's his name? Whatever his name is, but I want to see a little bit of both. Give me a little bit of both, okay? I want to see a little balance. Where's the balance? So I go on and I see, you know, not Andrew Cuomo, Chris Cuomo. Andrew's his brother, but Chris Cuomo, that nigga is fine. Hello? Hell the fuck oh. So I go on Instagram, I see everyone reposting, and it's good news. It is good. Look, I feel like I'm not sounding like it's good news, right? I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed with anybody, okay? Maybe that's my problem, but I'm not impressed with none of y'all niggas, okay? Not a one. What I do appreciate, though, is the representation that Kamala Harris has and the impact it has to me, to other girls, other black girls, to young black children, to my black students, my Hispanic students. Like, they all see this as a great example of someone who looks like them up in this high office. And I can't deny that. I'm just not impressed. Like, I'm never gonna be the type to be like, I feel so good right now. I'm so saved now that Joe Biden's in office. Like, I'm just not emotionally invested like some of y'all are. I'm really not. Like, even while Trump has been in office and the many events of his that he has shown of him showing his racist tendencies, sexist, misogynistic tendencies, I'm still not impressed. And by impressed, I simply mean I'm not emotionally invested. I'm able to shut it down. Like, okay, wow, that was crazy. He said shithole countries. Oh, wow, that's crazy. And then I move on. Like, I'm just not easily impressed. And, you know, people are often saying, well, it's great that we don't have a president who locked children in cages. That's been happening, y'all. Like, can we just stop? That's been happening, and it doesn't help that it adds on to Trump's record, right? But that's been happening, and none of us want to talk about how it's happened during the Obama presidency. But okay, we'll just keep that mute, you know? But I think, you know, we've reached a new level of low when we are only seeing that, well, at least this new president is decent. At least he's charismatic. At least he's an honorable person. And it just sucks that we're there. Like, this is it. This is the bar. We have to add that in. You should already be a decent person. You should already be a person of reverence. And now that's not even an achievable thing for us now that the record has been shown that if Trump can make it, anyone can. So yeah, I'm not easily impressed. I was watching someone's story the other day after the Biden election, after he won, and this person was saying how she was out at a restaurant outside, and when everyone received the news, many people were screaming, clapping, honking their horns, showing so much enthusiasm. And there was a table next to her who wasn't as excited, who was actually booing, I think she said, and they just wasn't sharing and participating in the celebratory moment that was happening. And she was saying in her story, she's like, oh, you're not celebrating because, sorry you're a racist, sorry you're a bigot, sorry you're sexist, sorry you're a misogynoir, all these things. And it's just, that's the problem. She's the problem right there. Because why I find that problematic is you're lumping a group of people into this hate group. And I don't think that's fair. I don't think everyone, I've said this many times and I'll say it again as many times as it resonates with me, but I don't think it's fair to generalize a group of people. We don't have to all abide by one belief. A lot of people do vote based off of issues and policies that most matter to them. And just because this party may appear, because of what the media portrays, may appear as racist, may appear as bigoted, it doesn't mean that everyone who is in that party is. And so it was very ignorant to see her react like that. And she did it so defensively, like she had a one up. And it's like, girl, what? We're so quick. Didn't, and I'm not saying I believe it, but Biden had a whole stint of a woman who was going around talking about he sexually assaulted her. Oh, but we forgot? Oh, but we're not up in arms? Oh, we think we're being saved right now? It's so funny how we're so quick to forget, have selective amnesia. It's so funny how we're quick to just not remember certain moments that could have very well discredited Biden. And again, it's not to say that this moment is not celebratory in the many ways that I've stated earlier. Representation matters. And I think right now is really a celebratory moment because of Kamala Harris. If Kamala Harris was not his VP, if he did not pick Kamala Harris, this would not, the outcry of support and love that is being shown to Joe Biden would not be the same if Kamala Harris was not his VP, period. And I believe that wholeheartedly. He needed to pick her. She is his winning ticket. And being that Joe Biden is clearly deteriorating, his cognitive skills are not as sharp as they were during the Obama presidency. It's very important that she is his right-hand man and a right-hand woman. And I'm glad that she is his pick. So again, congratulations. Here we are. And what does this mean? It means that Trump is no longer in office for the next 4 years. According to the reports, I'm seeing a lot of conspiracy around this isn't the final say so. Trump still will be in office. And I don't know what that's gonna about. We'll see how things unfold. According to what the news is saying, the president-elect is Joe Biden and the VP-elect is Kamala Harris. So it is so. Okay. Can we talk about Van Jones crying like a little bitch? Okay. First of all, Van Jones, sit the fuck down. Sit down. Sit down. Okay? Sit down. I don't like performative reactions. Okay? And to add on to that, a grown black man crying the way he was, like, it felt like he needed this titty to be on his lip for him to stop crying. Like, he needed my titty on his lip in order for him to feel at ease. And I just, I wasn't convinced. I wasn't impressed. I'm not moved by your tears, Van Jones. I don't care. What are you doing? Weren't you just laughing it up with Trump and the administration a couple of months ago? Full teeth out. And now you crying because you're so happy there's finally decency in the White Office, and you finally get to talk about with reverence and honor of the White Office again to your children. I don't give a fuck about your kids. What are we doing? Stop crying. Stop it. Like, I'm not convinced. I'm not moved. It was just too much. Like, here we go with these performative ass reactions. I'm just waiting for the next Trump tweet. I'm just waiting for the next Trump. At this point, let me go ahead and check Twitter real quick, because I just feel like, oh shoot. Okay, so I'm checking Twitter right now, and it looks like Trump fires his Secretary of Defense. Okay, who cares? I don't know him. But the point is, I just think, we just have to not be easily impressed and easily moved by these niggas. And that's just a word. Not just Van Jones, but just by these niggas. Are we easily impressed still? Oh, child. Okay. But so Trump is just going on his tirade of feeling like this was a setup, this was fraudulent, that dead people voted for Joe Biden. I just think it's pretty convenient to say it's fraudulent when it's not to your favor, and I think it's pretty convenient for the Republican Party, for those in the Republican Party, not everyone, obviously, for those in the Republican Party to continue with that narrative of fraudulent voting. It's fraudulent when it's not in your favor. That's just ridiculous. But who knows? I mean, it could be. Like, all of this doesn't matter. It doesn't. I'm just not in the same world as y'all anymore. Like, I just don't feel connected to what's happening. I'm just like here, and okay, fine, I vote. Okay, cool, I did it. But none of this really matters. At this point, you have to make sure you're in your headspace. You are doing what you need to do day by day, year by year, month by month, week by week, to make sure you're set. And yes, whatever orders the president may put in place may impact your daily living, but until then, do what you need to do to take care of yourself. I don't put my faith in these men. I don't put my faith in man alone. And not to sound religious, not to turn anybody off. It's just, I'm just disconnected from the shit that's happening in this world. I connect with it as much as I need to, but until then, I move the fuck on. Vaccine seems to be the next move that Joe Biden is going to make. Donald Trump just tweeted, an hour ago, if Joe Biden were president, he said if. See, it's just petty shit. You wouldn't have the vaccine for another 4 years, nor would the U.S. FDA approve it so quickly. The bureaucracy would have destroyed millions of lives. Okay, well, and I don't know how I feel about a vaccine. I just, this shit is annoying. At this point, take care of yourself, y'all. Take care of yourself. Van Jones crying is just not something I was moved by. I saw a lot of people tweeting it and feeling so moved by it, feeling like, oh my gosh, he gets it. As a parent, I understand. I don't care whether if I was a parent or not. I feel like I still wouldn't be impressed. But that's how I'm feeling. I I'm feeling, honestly, let me just give y'all the tea. I'm feeling really drained right now, to be honest. I'm feeling emotionally drained. I finally released a second Patreon episode. It's been a while since the last time I've recorded a Patreon episode exclusively to Patreon. Because in my Patreon, I've just been releasing the video version of the episodes that I release for free. But now I'm making an effort to release new episodes that is Patreon only. And I recorded one just a day ago. And I did it late at night, y'all. And you know, anything late at night is either not a good thing or it's a really emotional time. And that's what it was, the latter. It was really an emotional episode for me. I was triggered and I was reminded of my history in the relationships, and by relationships I mean platonic and romantic, in my life. And it speaks to my question about friendship, quality of friendship versus quantity of friendship in my life. And I don't want to give too much because I already just vomited it all in my Patreon. So if you are interested in listening more about that, check it out in patreon.com/godbuiltthis. And with this episode, you get a feel of the history and why I say the common phrase of I don't have any friends. You'll get more of an understanding. But yeah, I was crying. I was really crying. I was really upset. I was like in hysterics, and I'm just thinking to myself, you know, how when we think about self-care and mental wellness and mental health, I don't see it enough as something that we should do every day, as a daily practice. Instead, I see it as something we happen to fit into our schedule, you know, if I happen to remember. But that is very detrimental. I need to really take care of myself. This past 2 days have been very hard on me emotionally. And what I do love about myself is I feel my feelings and I always pick myself up. But when I feel my feelings, it feels scary. It feels heavy. It feels overwhelming. It feels like there's no way out. And then there is a way out every time. But the past 2 days, not only was I feeling my feelings emotionally, I was also feeling a headache coming on. My appetite wasn't hitting, and it was just a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot. And I'm trying not to say too much because I already said in my Patreon episode. So let's go ahead and watch or listen to that episode. But it was a lot. And I think when I going back to self-care and mental health and mental wellness, I think we all need to practice, and I'm really speaking to myself, but I know it's not just me. You know, we all need to do it seamlessly. How can we seamlessly incorporate self-care, joy practices in our life every day? How can we do that seamlessly? What is it that makes us happy? How can we, just as we brush our teeth every day, at least niggas should, right? Just as we brush our teeth every day, just as we go pee, go poo, just as we eat, we need to practice joy. We need to incorporate joy, things that make us happy. What is it that make you happy? Does it make you happy to eat well, to eat a vegetable every day, work out, meditate, pray, clean? Everyone's different. What is it that bring you joy? What is it that make you feel like, wow, I did it. I'm so happy I did that. That made me joyful. I think with me growing up, self-care wasn't necessarily a term that was real. And I know a lot of us have that same experience. Just now we're hearing the term mental health, mental care, mental wellness. And so we did not experience that growing up. I have been going through these bouts of hysteria. Like, what the fuck? I'm just thinking to myself, I just would have these bouts because before these past 2 days, it was just a couple of days ago, I had another bout of hysteria where I'm feeling this intense emotion of whether it's loneliness, whether it's sadness because of a loss of something, and loss of something meaning a loss of relationship, a loss of self identity, knowingness, clarity. Like I think very deeply when it comes to anything, and so it was just heavy. It was just heavy. And these past 2 days, I feel like I need to talk about it because I'm trying to keep it as short because I already talked about it in the Patreon. But just to kind of give a gif of it, I was realizing, and I think oftentimes when we think about our childhood and past history in general, we don't really sit and recognize the pattern. And as I was reflecting on the pattern in my relationships, both platonic and romantic, I realized that in my romantic situations, I've been a secret. Yeah, I've been a secret. I've mostly been in situations that were in the low, keep it on the down low. And I'll talk more about that. And then when I look into my friendship history, and I'm dating back to 7th grade. I've been in many experiences, many social dynamics where I just did not fit in. And so when I say at 29, I don't fit in, I don't feel like I fit in here, they don't get me, or no one has an understanding the way I do, or no one's interested in what I'm saying, no one thinks the way that I think. This disconnect from many groups of people that has been the majority of my experience when it comes to friendships. And throughout my friendship history, I've always found that one or two persons whom I've connected strongly with. And it's like, oh, wow, okay, cool. Yeah, we get each other. It's great. And then that ends. And then it fucking ends. And it's not necessarily, I'm saying this now, not because I've just experienced an ending of something. It's just what triggered me was just the reality of, oh, wow, niggas don't be staying. And I'm saying niggas to both men and women. Friendship wise. When I was in undergrad, I was very close with this friend of mine who, like, we were tight. It was me and her. And once college ended, our friendship just ended. And I'm just thinking back to the reasons behind that. And I think about like, okay, I remember at the time I was in my first adult relationship, my first adult romantic relationship. And I wasn't a good friend to her. I kind of discarded her. And that was definitely my fault. And I apologized to her about that. And we kind of rekindled. We rekindled, but the vibe just wasn't, it just felt like our friendship was based off of our undergraduate experience. It was as if our friendship couldn't grow past that point. And when I think about the quotes that I would see oftentimes through Instagram or just different social media platforms, how, you're friends with some people for a season, or some people are in your life for a season. I have a lot of seasonal ass people. Like, see, I don't have much else to say. Like, I really have a lot of seasonal ass people. And when I meet people who've been friends with their friends for 12 years or even since 2012, that feels so long ago, but that's a long time. And I'm just like, wow, I don't even know who I know in 2012. 2012? What the fuck? It's like when one season ends or one era in that time ends, right? That work experience, that's an era for me. When that work experience ends, okay, the friendships that I developed in that work era are no longer the case. Like suddenly they fizzle out. Suddenly we have nothing else to talk about. Because our main topic was that shared experience. And now that we don't have that in common anymore, suddenly our friendship doesn't matter. And it sucks. It sucks because I would love to still have a friend whom I've known since 2012. But that hasn't been the case for me. And so when I think about friendships and what they mean and what does it mean to be a friend, and I think I take things very personally, and it's not to discount my experience, but I'm a very sensitive person. And anyway, so what triggered all of this was this past Saturday, I'm heading to this yoga spot, and I come across this guy who's in his car, and he's with his niggas, and he sees me walking. He, speaks out the window. He's like, "Can I talk to you for a second?" And I'm looking in the car like, let me see. Let me see if you can talk to me for a second. Who's in your car, nigga? Who is in your car? Huh? But he looked kind of cute. I'm like, okay, fine. He gets out the car. Very respectful. We chit chat. He's here for the weekend. And of course I roll my eyes because it's like, oh, here the fuck we go. These weekend ass niggas. What the fuck? Can I experience someone who's here? Like someone who lives here? Someone who's not just here for the weekend? Someone who's not just popping up? Can I experience someone who lives in the fucking town as I do? What the fuck? But okay, whatever. So we exchanged numbers. And he wanted to know, like, what's popping tonight? Has someone who lives here, what would you recommend is popping for tonight? And so I'm like, oh, there's a spot called the address. Like, whenever people ask me that question and they're not from Houston, I just always say those two areas, the address or Prospect Park. Because when I first moved here, those are the two places that I knew, and that was the popping spot to go to. I don't really go there anymore because I just don't really go out like that anymore. And but that's the first things I would say. Even though I don't go there anymore, I'm not like I won't go there anymore. It's just I haven't gone there in a while. But I suggested that to him. But I wasn't planning to go out. I was not planning to go out, and it was fine. So he was like, oh, so if I go there, you're going to come too? So he's trying to, convince me to come. I'm like, okay, we'll see. I wasn't planning to go out, but we'll see. Okay, cool. So I told him I was actually on my way to a yoga event after he asked me, and fine. So the yoga ends, and I get a text from him asking me how was yoga, and I tell him it was great, and that I'm actually at a breakfast spot right now. And he said he's at a breakfast spot too, and he actually said the same breakfast spot that I'm at. So we actually ended up at the same restaurant. He's with his boys, I'm by myself, of course. And long story short, he ends up paying for my meal. He realized that I'm there. He sees me at the bar. He motions to or speaks to my waiter and says, give me her bill. And then he texts me. He says, your meal is paid for. And I'm like, wait, what? Pussy wet, okay? Pussy wet, okay? That's a way to get me in your pants. No. But pussy wet. I'm not exaggerating. I'm kidding. Pussy wasn't wet. Because honestly, I didn't really find him physically attractive. He wasn't ugly, but prior to him, like if he didn't pay for my meal, I wouldn't have fucked him. You know, so it wasn't like, oh my gosh, just added on to my attraction for you. No, it added on to, okay, that's what's up. Thank you. Like it was attractive. That's an attractive move. But as far as just lust, as far as just, I see you at the, on the street and I'm just like, oh nigga, who is that? I didn't feel that way for him. He was just cool. He wasn't ugly though. He wasn't ugly. So whatever, cool. Thank you. Pussy wet. That's what's up. Thank you. And he texted me later and was like, I'm seeing you tonight, right? Like you're definitely coming out tonight. And so I'm like actually giving it some strong consideration, even though I just didn't really care to go out. But whatever. So I actually ended up going to the mall to get something to wear. Just kind of, let me get myself up. Let me liven my emotions. Because I'm just not in the mood sometimes. Not in the mood to be in a place like the Address or just any type of club environment. Instead, I would rather be with quality people, in a small, intimate size environment and just be around just people who I know. That's no shade to anyone who goes to the Address or any other club spot. It's just, I'm just not in that scene anymore. And, pandemic just doesn't motivate me to go out like that even more. So whatever. But I was willing to go just because I was grateful that he paid for my meal. And yes, I didn't request for him to do that. I wasn't begging for him to do that. He did it off of his own will. Thank you. But I also feel this kind of inherent need to thank him for that. Like, okay, fine. Let me just give you this pussy. But no, I didn't. So I didn't want to go by myself. Like I wanted to not go by because he was with his boys. So I figured, of course his boys will want some other female company as well. And honestly, I don't know, some of the other niggas in that group look kind of cute. Like, bitch, distract this nigga so I can fuck with this other nigga, okay? But whatever. So I hit up the friends who I would usually go out with and hang out with from time to time. And they weren't available. To say the least. And that was the catalyst for my hysteric downpour the next couple of hours, because it reminded me that I really don't have any friends. Like, and what I mean by that is, like, I don't have niggas who are just down. Like, I'm down. I don't care if you're in for the night or you're, of course, if you're in your deathbed type of thing. But, like, I don't care if you may not be in the mood to go out, right? If I'm telling you as a friend, hey, I just met this guy. He wants me to go out with him tonight, but I don't want to go alone. I want you to come with me. I feel like if I would have gotten that text from a friend of mine, Even if I was already in my pajamas, bitch, let's go. That's me. I'm that friend. Like, okay, bitch, let's go. All right, let me just beat my face real quick. I'll be right there. I'm that friend. And when I realize that I don't have that right now, it just hit me like a ton of bricks. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, damn, when's the last time that I have that? And I think about my undergraduate years, my friend, my close friend, my ride or die friend, then she was that girl for me. And I was that girl for her. Like, we were down for each other. Okay, let's go. We want to go out. Okay, let's go. Fine. I don't really feel like it, but fine, let's go. You want to go? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We were just down for each other. And it just sucks when I want and need that. Now I don't have that, and I have people who I hang out with and like, yeah, we're friends. It's just, I feel like, are we though? Like, I feel like when I think about friendship in my adulthood, a lot of women do not have the same definition of friendship today. And it just saddens me because I'm just like, I'm in this alone in my head. I feel like, okay, well, I could count on you when you want to do something at your house. And like, what I'm just saying here is that I'm always down. I'm that bitch. I'm always down. Whatever the fuck you want to do, let's go. I could not really be into it, right? I may not be in the mood, but I'm always available. I show up for my niggas. But I don't have niggas to show up for. At least not even I don't have niggas. I show up for acquaintances. That's how much I show up. That's just in me. That's who I am. And so when I would hope for that energy in return and it doesn't reciprocate, it sucks. It sucks. And it just put me in a spiral. So I hit up, like literally every friend that I hit up was not available. I'm just like, the fuck? Why am I here? I was literally just sitting back like, why? What is this French? What is this? Nobody was available, nigga. Nobody what the fuck was available. I hit up one of my other friends. This bitch is never of it. Like, she always got some excuse. I'm out of town. I'm up north. I'm in the north side of Houston. I'm ill. It's like, what the fuck is wrong today? I can't. It's not. And I'm just like laughing because it's literally that. What else? So when I sent the text, as soon as I sent it, I was like, oh, fuck. I already know what the fuck is going to happen. And maybe that's me manifesting it, but I don't think so. Because it's been a history of, it's not just one time when niggas just weren't available. And it's just, again, yes, we all have our own lives. We all have our reasons. Yes, we have our boundaries. And of course, if you're not into whatever it is, you don't have to go, that's your boundary and that's fine. I respect it. But I also feel like we live in such a PC ass world right now that when niggas try to be niggas, we can't do that. Okay? We got to talk in these professional ass tone. Are you my colleague or my friend? Are you my colleague or my bitch? What's up? Like, you got to be my bitch. Like, what's up? And I don't see that a lot in friendships today, in new friendships today. Like, maybe I got to go to the hood and make friends with some ghetto bitch and be like, okay, this is my bitch. I don't know, but I'm just tired of the way that some people talk. It's just too PC. And I don't want to, like, I feel like I'm not a ghetto person, right? I'm not saying that with dismay either. I also just feel like I am who I am. I'm a real bitch. I'm a real girl. I'm down for you because I'm just a down person, right? I'm not doing it for clout or what. I don't know what that means. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I just know how I would like to feel in return. That's how I always see it. Like, I always use that golden rule. Would I feel like I would like this? Would I feel like I would want this in return? That's why I'm always available for people. Hey, you want to go out? Okay, let's go out. Hey, you want to talk on the phone about something? Okay, let's talk on the phone about something. I'm always available, and I have yet to meet my tribe. I think that's what it is. And I think but that was just my revelation. And so once I sat in that, I felt the feelings in that, and I talked more about that on the Patreon episode. And I just I said to myself, I have to do things and be around people who fulfill my soul. And that's what it is. That's what I realize I need. Is my soul fulfilled when I'm with you? Do I feel excited to be in your presence, or am I just here? Do I feel valued? Do I feel seen when I'm with you? And this is not just to romantic partnerships. This is to friendships, platonic ones. And I used to only think of that in a romantic setting, because of course you will want to feel that way or think those things when you are engaging in romantic dynamics with people. But this also applies to platonic friendships. Do I feel seen with my friend? Do I feel heard? Am I valued here? Is it also in return? Am I doing the same thing to my friend? So the same energy of being down for my niggas, I want that in return. And if I don't get that, and if I don't feel that, and if it's not just it's not just, oh, that was just a one-time thing. No, I'm not crazy. Niggas just don't be available sometimes. Most times when I ask them, and it'll just be for like little things, like whatever. And I just think it speaks to. And it's a big deal for me, because I feel like some people are thinking like it's not a big deal. And that's the problem. A lot of people don't see things the way that I see them, or maybe not a lot of people. I think just some people. Let me stop saying a lot, because some people don't see things the way I see things. And I feel like if I got a text from my friend telling me or asking for my company to be with them for the night because some random nigga off the streets asked them to go out to a club and you didn't want to go by yourself, I would get the fuck up. I would put blush on my face, concealer under my eyes, and put some heels on and get the fuck out the door. That's what I like, without a question. I wouldn't even possibly try to get out of that. So I wouldn't even think of a random excuse. I would be there. That's the type of bitch I am. Like, I don't understand any other way around it. What is for the night? Hell, say if okay, cool, I'll go with you, but girl, I can't stay the whole night. I'll just be there for 2 hours. Okay, cool, we could leave together. You could be my way out, right? I just see it as, I wouldn't leave you alone. I wouldn't leave you to possibly resort to going out alone. At the end of the day, I didn't end up going out with him, because at that point I realized, nah, I don't want to fucking do this shit. I ain't got no friends. I'm not trying to go out with you by myself with all your niggas who are probably mad that I didn't bring my female friends with me. But anyway, so I was just that really hit me like a ton of bricks. And I feel like, oh wow, I really don't have like that down ass friend, that down ass bitch in my life. And it just sucks. So I think about like who and what fulfills me on a soul level. I do have a friend who does. Let's not. I know y'all probably think like, damn bitch, do you have any friends? I do, because again, I think about friendship deeply, and it's on some. Does my soul feel fulfilled when I'm with you? Do I feel like I could be my whole self with you? Do we have real conversations and not just this short small talk? I'm tired of being asked, so what you been up to? Work. That's that's what I've been up to work. Well, let's talk about something that I mentioned last time we had a conversation. Let's talk about just something else. Let's talk about something else. God, and I'm saying all this to say, like, I could key with the best of them, right? But there are sometimes some people who just don't know how to take their chip off their shoulder, and I'm seemingly always the voice of, they say the voice of reason. There's a voice of joke. That's me. It is not even trying to be the jokey person. It's just like, can we just stop being politically correct right now? Like, anyway, but yeah, I do have a friend who does fulfill what needs to be fulfilled as a friend. And she's great. She moved here a couple of months ago. And it's funny because we already have a history. We've known each other for many years. And being an adult, I feel like now friendships could be more intentional, at least for me and my perspective. And the way that she is and the way that I am in our friendship, we are caring. Like, we actually really give a fuck about each other. And that's like, it sucks that that's something that I even need to say. But like, sometimes people don't show that well. And the way that she shows it in our friendship is she'll just text me like, "Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Hey girl, what's up? How's it going?" Right? And then we would really talk about how's it going. Like, girl, let me tell you about X, Y, and Z. Or, it's a vice versa thing. And so when I'm reflecting on that friendship, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful. Because when we hung out, whether at her place or my place, when I had my apartment, when we'll go out, we'll still have real conversations. We'll still just be present with each other. And that's the friendships that I'm looking for. That's what I am attracting. And I want a multitude of that. Again, I'm not interested in a quantity type of friendship. I'm not saying I need to have 8 to 10 friends for every day or every weekend. That's not what I'm saying. I want more quality friendships. And that's what I'm realizing is a lack right now in my life. And that's what put me into hysteria. So, I say all that to say, quality over quantity any day. I think when we are in the world today, we forget how important it is to be in community with people who really give a fuck about you. And being in the state of this pandemic, being someone who moved away from my hometown, all of that is very needed right now. So I feel the impact of not having that so intensely. So I think that's another addition to why I feel and why I reacted the way that I did. But it is so, and I will attract the tribe, and I am attracting the tribe that I want. So let's continue to put our good hopes and faith out there. I was actually inspired a couple of days ago to create my vision board. I've never done that before. Never done that. Like, I've seen people do it around me. I know the gist of it, but I just don't give myself the space to really just sit and wallow in my dreams, and not just wallow, but like actually put it into practice. I think I daydream. I dream at night. I would daydream. I would definitely do that. But as far as putting things down into paper, whether it's writing down my goals or putting it into a picture format like a vision board, I don't do that. I've never done that. I think it's scary, actually. And I realize there's been a fear behind really investing in myself. And I think that's so interesting. I was realizing I was going through many revelations these past 2 days. And that's definitely something I realized. Like, I'm afraid to really tap the fuck in. Tap in. So I bought like a shitload of magazines. I got a poster board and I got a glue stick. And I was supposed to do it this past weekend, but I didn't get a chance to do it because I had a whole emotional breakdown. But I will do it in the next few days. So I look forward to that. And I'm giving myself permission to, because yes, I feel, right? I give myself permission to feel my emotions, whether it be good or bad. Not bad, but like, positive and not so positive. But I'm also giving myself permission to dream and explore my dreams and seeing it on paper, seeing it tangibly. Because I love the intangible, right? I love spirit and spiritual things and stuff like that, but I don't give myself the luxury, the it's really a birthright, really, but I don't give myself that to really see it out loud and say it out loud and write it down and allowing myself to be fearless in that. I think it's just the fear thing. So again, I've been very aware of the fear-based practices that I've been doing for a while now, and I'm making the conscious efforts and the steps needed to eradicate fear as much as I can. Okay, let's talk about car lens. Okay, now that we got all that out, let's talk about car lens. God damn, car lens, you nigga. Okay, for those who don't know who Carl Lentz is the pastor or one of the pastors of Hillsong Church. And he's actually very famous for being the pastor and mentor and close friend of Justin Bieber. And, for a while, Justin Bieber has been spiraling out of control and just acting very erratically. And, that speaks to him being a child star, him getting so much money at such a young age and fame at such a young age. That really messes up with your mental, especially if you don't have a strong base. So he eventually spiraled and he found God. And he found God through Carl Lentz, okay? Carl Lentz is a fine ass motherfucker. Can we just stop there? I don't think we have enough conversations around fine pastors. I really don't think we have enough conversations about fine pastors. Can we just take a moment of I don't want to say silence because that sounds morbid, but let's just recognize the fine pastors. Because I know we don't want to say it because it's like, that's, you don't want to equate lust or any type of sexual desire to people or men of God, people who are supposed to be, seemingly not lustful or not caring to engage in sexual intercourse because they love God so much that all of their human desires are gone. Okay. But nigga, Carl Lentz, I just might go to hell for you. I'm kidding. It's a joke, God. I know you know how I feel. Yo, but dead ass, Carl Lentz is one of the few white motherfuckers who could get it. Okay? I'm gonna say it again. Carl Lentz, okay, is the few white motherfuckers who could get it, okay? And if we want to put it more in a box, one of the few white pastor motherfuckers who could get it, okay? Okay, let's put it more in a box. One of the few white pastor motherfuckers who wear glasses who could get it, okay? That's Carl Lentz for me. Anyway, I say all this to say he's fine. He's fine as fuck. And I think it's also just like, of course, his physique is pretty rad. If you want to talk to a white guy, I say rad now, right? No, but his body is dope. Okay, let's talk about that. The tattoos add on to the attraction, the lore, and it's the worship that he has for God. That's attractive too. A worshiping nigga, white or black, something about a worshiping man is so attractive. Like, damn, I'm trying to fuck, but you trying to praise God. What we doing right now? Can we do both? One could argue worshiping is a form of, let's not, but we'll go there another time. But Carl Lentz is fine. That's what I'm saying. And he's been fine. Nothing has changed. Recently, it's been exposed. Well, he's actually was ahead of the curve when admitting to an affair he's had on his wife. He is married with 3 children. All of his children are well of age to know what's happening in the media and to be aware of their father's indiscretion. But he did the most noble thing a cheating motherfucker could do. Okay? Admit to his wrongdoing. And he was immediately fired from Hillsong Church. Immediately. And on one hand, I respect it because it's like, wow, okay, Hillsong don't play, okay? But on the other hand, I feel like just because he cheated, though, like, he didn't hit his wife, he didn't molest anybody, he didn't rape anybody, he just simply had a little cheat. He got to get fired for that. Like, he couldn't at least been on probation. He couldn't at least been sit down. He had to get fired. God damn. Like, it was a lot. It was a lot. And I think about John Gray, how that nigga still is the head of his church. That nigga is still the head of his household, okay? He is still in an own network show. I don't know if that's been canceled, but last time I checked, he's had another season. And the point is, Black churches and congregations are quick to accept the shortcomings, the continuous shortcomings of their pastor. And whether that is admirable or not, I feel like it's just very interesting, the difference in how quick Carl Lentz was fired compared to how quick John Gray was coddled, embraced, and excused. I feel like Carl Lentz could have gotten another chance. Like, come on, leave that nigga alone. Like, he's just too fine. He's too fine. And that's enough. That's enough. Yes, that's enough. Sometimes you could let things go. Okay? Sometimes you could let this fine motherfucker go. Like, okay, fine, he cheated. He admitted it. I'm kidding. Maybe I'm not because he really is that fine. And I feel like if anything, he should have just gotten sit down. Like, okay, just sit down from your office, from your position at church. And, in the next year, maybe 6 months, you could find your way back. I just also feel like, as people in these elite positions in the church, there isn't enough grace given. Oh my God, I'm sounding so hypocritical because I didn't say any of this for John Gray. I did not. But did y'all look at John Gray compared to Carl Lentz? Come on. I'm not, and this is not fat phobia. Shut the fuck up. Fine is fine is fine. Carl Lentz is fine. Okay? I'll cheat on him too. I'll cheat with him too. Like, stop. Can we stop the shit? Anyway, he admitted his wrongdoing, and maybe who knows? Maybe he admitted it because he was forced to, right? Maybe he got caught and felt like, okay, this is the best option. Who knows? But I just feel like he could have just kept it private. He could have private his page, but he didn't. Instead, he stood in his shit. And what I like about it, that in his in his stance, in his statement, he blamed no one but himself. He put all the accountability on himself. And he voiced that he will work on this journey of rebuilding his trust with his children and his wife. That shit is real, you know? Oftentimes, and that's why I've been hard on John Gray, because John Gray would find everybody to blame, okay? His wife would blame everybody but him. Like, Alvinter, what the fuck? Stop talking about his 16-year-old self. And yes, I get it. As someone who does shadow work, so as someone who recognizes the impact of our experiences of our younger self has to our present self, I totally understand that. I also just feel like John Gray still holds no accountability. And that's the problem. He's quick to be like, well, you know, I was seduced, this girl manipulated me and blah, blah. Like, stop. If you just say, hey, you know what? I messed up, period. That could just be the end of the sentence. And John Gray doesn't show any, or he hasn't shown any real accountability. Carl Lentz has. And he's fine. So let that nigga, you know, give him a little pass. Give him a little pass. So anyway, I just wanted to give y'all some understanding about Carl Lentz and how fine he is and how much we don't say how much fine pastors are. I said this is right. But we don't talk a lot about fine pastors. And I'm here to have that conversation. Okay? The pastor of the church I go to here in Houston, that nigga's fine. Okay? He actually is divorced, so he's available fine. But no, I don't think I could ever. Nah, I don't know. Oh no, I will have to pray to God about that. But he's really fine, and he's tall. God damn, pastor. Let me not say his name, but he's fine, and I know he gets mad play. Shit, that nigga gets mad play. He's so damn fine. But I say all that to say we have to recognize how fine pastors are. Some pastors are, and not act like they're not because, oh, he's a man of God. That doesn't excuse their fineness. All of that is still true. Okay, guys, I'm going to end it here. Think y'all had enough of me. Happy 100th episode. Thank you for listening to every episode, and I hope you continue to listen. Tell a friend. Make sure you are subscribed. Leave a comment. Share this episode with someone who you feel like would love it. Thank you and goodbye until next time. Bye. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of God Built This Podcast with your host, Maxine. Be sure to leave a review, give me 5 stars, and of course, subscribe. Also, follow God Built This Podcast on Instagram at God Built This Pod. God bless.